Another one happened. TransUnion on July 28th announced that a data breach happened. TransUnion, for those of you who don't know, are one of the 3 credit bureaus in the US that report your credit. How many people were affected? About 4.4 million users. So what exactly happened? Hackers accessed a third-party application that reports some of the user's information. Exactly what was reported? The user's name, first and last, and date of birth, as well as their social security number. Exactly the perfect ingredients to steal someone's identity. What makes this breach a little more troubling is how TransUnion exactly disclosed it. They were talking to Maine's Attorney General. They disclosed that a data breach occurred and that some users' information was compromised. But the major part they left out in the dark was what information exactly was compromised. To make matters worse, TransUnion's spokesperson, John Boughton, refused to answer some basic questions when asked about the data breach. How did this happen? How did hackers get their hands on this sensitive information? Which security measures failed when it came to this security attack? There was also no insight into what the hackers' demands were and no clarity on what they were going to do going forward to protect users' information. Again, this is quite troubling as this business stands on the fact that they handle your personal information and are supposed to safeguard it. Now, this just kind of highlights more of the fragility of the business and its safeguards that they have to protect your personal information. Here's what makes everything so frustrating. We've seen this over and over again. Throughout the decades, there have been numerous data breaches. And what is the common thread with all of them? It's the fact that they continuously have third-party applications with inadequate safety protocols that get breached by criminals. Once this happens, these criminals combine from all of these data breaches a comprehensive profile of you, giving them easier access to steal your identity and drain your finances. The reality of all of this is one thing. Traditional security measures are not cutting it anymore. This shifts the burden of keeping your personal identifying information from the company over to you. Now it's on us to keep our identity safe. How do we do that? Part of the solution is in the name, and that is getting identity theft protection. This gives you control on protecting your own identity. Because let's be real, by the time a criminal gets your information, they've had it for weeks, up to even months before these companies report the data breach. How does identity theft protection work and how does it give you the edge? It is constantly and consistently monitoring more than just your credit report. It is scouring different databases as well as the dark web for data breaches of your information so that it can give you the appropriate time response so that you can take action quickly and effectively. Now, with this identity theft protection service, you will gain a crucial piece when it comes to these data breaches: time. Because when a criminal gets your personal information, they won't just sit on it. They will quickly and immediately take action to try to open up as many accounts in your name as fast as possible. Because once they are found, then they'll be stopped, and the chances of them being able to steal or do anything with your identity becomes slimmer and slimmer. So, identity theft protection, a good one, will give you quick reaction time for you to take the steps to protect yourself, as well as having good remediation services in case the worst does happen. Because let's be real, the best identity theft protection doesn't just freeze and unfreeze your credit. Let's be real, you can do that for free and do it yourself. And freezing your credit is something I recommend as the most basic step you can take right now. A good identity theft protection service also won't just say, hey, there's a data breach, good luck. They will assign you a dedicated fraud specialist to you that helps you along every step. But here's where it gets complicated. What identity theft protection service do I get? What are all the hoops I'm willing to jump through? Some identity theft protection services will have premium tiers. You start at the most basic tier and you climb all the way up until you're paying the most to get the best. Or some will just not have certain things that you need or are essential for your identity to be protected. So you do pay less, but you get skimped out on certain perks, I would say. After my team and I tested every identity theft protection service out there, we came down to one, and it's the one that I use to protect my personal identity, which is Aura. In our testing, Aura constantly and consistently, which is important, outperformed all other identity theft protection services we tested. Of course, we tested multiple categories, from what do you get for what you pay, the speed at which you get notified, what kind of 24-hour customer support do you get, or if it even is 24-hour, as well as how do they handle things if the worst does happen. Credit monitoring is essential, but that isn't where things stop. The cool thing about Aura is that it monitors all 3 credit bureaus straight out of the gate. No tier climbing or anything like that, just all 3 across any plan that you choose, whether it's individual, family, or couples. The thing about it is Aura also monitors the dark web. So in conjunction with credit monitoring, you also do get dark web monitoring, which is so essential at this point. You really can't have an identity theft protection service that doesn't also monitor the dark web, because this is where criminals go to sell and buy your personal information that has been collected from these data breaches. You need to monitor the dark web, and Aura does just that. Upon initially signing up, I had so many alerts from years before that I didn't even realize had data breaches of my information, from emails to even passwords. And I mean, they were right on the money. Those were my passwords that went with those emails, and it was just there for the taking. They could have just taken my information and locked me out of things. Luckily, I got lucky and fortunate and was able to find out through Aura that maybe that email that I've had since high school, I should really upgrade the password and change it to something a little bit lengthier. The other thing it does, it gives you a bar none, top of the line insurance policy. The insurance policy covers $1 million if the worst does happen. And the best part about it is you didn't have to pay premium dollars to upgrade. You just had to sign up for Aura Identity Theft Protection. The thing that changes is how many people are covered based on how many people are on your plan. So if it's an individual, you're covered at $1 million. If it's couples, both of you guys are covered at $1 million. And if it's a family, up to 5 people are covered up to $1 million. Each individual, not a total, which in a lot of other identity theft protection services, you have to read the fine print. And the dashboard is so simple. It's very intuitive, clean. You can lock your Experian from the dashboard, and you can take a look around and see past data breaches as well as current ones, as well as having a vault where you can monitor specific information constantly that you want rather than getting notified. So if you have important things, Aura's got you covered. And what happens when the worst does happen? Well, Aura's got your back. Customer support 24/7, and they answer within seconds. I mean, I've tested it out as well as other people on my team, and consistently, Aura's customer support is bar none untouchable. Also, one thing I forgot to note, with the insurance policy, it's more than just recovering your stolen funds. The other thing that the $1 million policy covers as well is legal fees, as well as wages, and in certain situations, even childcare expenses that are taken when you're trying to resolve identity theft issues. But before you leave and go sign up, please scroll down to the description below, click on the link to an exclusive discount code to Aura, saving you money and supporting the channel at no cost to you. The question isn't whether the criminals are going to use your data. The bigger question is, are you ready when it does happen? With Aura, you will be ready.